Rock Hill and the world. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, based on what time you're watching this. I'm Corrado with Rock Hill Video. Today is Monday, November 1st, 2021, 5:45 p.m. Welcome to our show. As always, I like to say at the beginning of our show, this is a political show. We bring candidates and elected officials from all over the country on here, whether they're in person or via Zoom or some type of video chat. We like to have everybody on here. We like to give everyone a fair opportunity to express their thoughts and feelings on things. We do not bring anybody on here to bash them or praise them. We've done debates where we've had two totally different people discussing issues that they are on totally different sides of the world on. But there's a certain level of respect we want to have on here where we do not mistreat anybody, give anybody extra time, show any favoritism, or slam anybody based upon their thoughts. This is an open forum to talk about the issues. That way I always feel people are more comfortable to talk about what they think, how they feel. That way makes it a much better program. I actually went to Winthrop University right here in Rock Hill. I majored in mass communication with a concentration in journalism. And one of the things we were taught was to report the facts and don't misquote anybody. And for the most part, nobody really cares what you think anyway. As far as me, this isn't my column. So maybe one day. But as of right now, we want to make sure that we just bring our guests on to talk about how they feel and how they want to move forward with things. Tonight, we have on Nikita Jackson. She is from Rock Hill, and she is running for re-election for the city of Rock Hill. So, Nikita, thank you for coming on our show.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Good. So you were born and raised in Rock Hill. What would you like to share about your early life here?
Yes, I was born and raised in a community called Sunset Park Community. I attended public schools here in the city of Rock Hill, graduated from Northwestern, go Trojans, and attended and graduated from Bennett College in Greensboro. It's a HBCU, all-female school. There are only two in the United States, and that's Bennett College in Spelman. So, and that's me. I've majored in biology, so I have a BS degree in biology.
Okay. What would you like to share about your family life or things you do for fun?
My family, I love my family. I have a wonderful 22-year-old son. His name is Caleb. And I have one brother. His name is Derek. And I just love my family. I have my mom and my dad, of course. They're still with us. And I just love my family. I love family time, getting together. But with this pandemic, we haven't done that a lot. But I will say about 2 weeks ago, my brother brought his entire family down, and we were able to spend the weekend with one another. And we hadn't been able to do that in roughly 2 years. So it was great joy to be able to have my family all together at once and just celebrating one another. My brother has 8 children.
Wow. And
the 3-year-old, because we hadn't gotten together, he opened up a tent in my living room and said we were having a birthday party celebrating everybody's birthday because we hadn't been together. So that brought joy to my heart.
That's really nice. Love it. Yeah. So I've lived in Rock Hill since '99. Actually, this October 30th was 22 years for me, and I've seen a lot of changes here. Now, obviously, you've been born and raised here. You have seen a lot of changes too. People from all over not just country, the world are moving to Rock Hill. So how can we adapt to such a change in demographics?
Well, I mean, you have to realize what was bringing people here to the city of Rock Hill, and I think it's change. And that's something that's happening within our city. There are a lot of changes that's taking place. And I tell everybody, change is inevitable for growth. And so if you don't grow and you don't change, you become stalemate. And so that's what people are coming here. There are a lot of great things that's about to happen or that has been happening in our city.
Okay. I notice, a lot of people, at least from what I've noticed, are bypassing, say, going to Florida, to retire. People are coming right here to the Carolinas to retire. And I know you, based upon some of the work you do, aside from the council, there's a lot of retirement communities popping up, memory care, assisted living. We do an Alzheimer's walk every fall in Rock Hill. And then you see a lot of small caregiver units, like if you don't go live somewhere and you stay home, you might need to hire someone for mom or dad, grandma, grandpa. So long-term care is a big need. What type of advice do you think you can give to our viewers on, how we can be ready for that.
Chris, that's where I first met you
Right.
in the healthcare community. We were at a networking event, and basically the one thing that I tell people, and I actually just had this conversation with a couple people this past weekend, because there were 2 community events right in the community that I lived in for people, and the comment that I made is these opportunities are right here in our community, in our backyard, to take us from good to greater. And so 2 community events, and I told someone, we prepare for birthdays, we prepare for anniversaries, we prepare for graduations, we prepare for weddings, but the one thing that a lot of people don't prepare for, and that's your financial future and what that holds. And with that being said, what's the next phase in your senior years? And that's what a lot of people haven't done. And so being able to prepare for the future for long-term care is something that's very valuable, because you don't want to put yourself or have your family in a situation where, in a crisis situation, you're trying to scurry around to try to figure out what's the next move. But if you plan for the next move, you can be able to handle that crisis a little bit better.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I guess that's exactly where we met, because we both do a lot of work in helping with seniors, and that's definitely something important to both of us.
Yeah.
And we do our walks, even though we had to do them kind of virtually this year.
Yeah.
We're still doing walks and accepting donations up until December 31st.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, there's technically no professional sports teams in South Carolina, but the Carolina Panthers represent both states, and just Charlotte's just right 15-20 minutes depending on how fast you drive. And we noticed that their training camp is going to be in Rock Hill or for Anderson Road in the next couple of years or so.
Yes.
How are we preparing for that?
Just from the city level, we're making the adjustments, because a lot of people think that just the Panthers are coming here is just the Panthers are coming, but we have to look at it from a city's perspective. We got to look at it from the trash pickup, sanitation, water and sewer. We got to look at it from that aspect, fire, police. And so as from a city's perspective, that's something that we have been, holding our feet to the fire, trying to realize what is going to be the best possible option. And I think we've worked those things out. There's going to be a lot of great opportunities once the Panthers do come, bring their practice facility to the city of Rock Hill. And so just like everybody else, if the Panthers wanted to come to Rock Hill, and a lot of other people want to come.
Okay. Also in Rock Hill, as I said, more and more people are coming. We're becoming a bigger and bigger city. And every once in a while, we'll see even something local, in quotes, gun violence that'll take place in Rock Hill. Is there anything you'd like to share about that? About anything we can do to keep people safe, or just anything you'd like to share?
Everybody, wants to have a clear-cut answer to gun violence, and there's no clear-cut answer, in my opinion, to gun violence. You got to look at the holistic aspect of why gun violence is so prevalent now. What's going on in people's lives that's causing people to resort to gun violence? And so there's no one fail-safe way to ease or control gun violence, except for individuals really looking at what's going on. So it's a whole systematic approach that needs to be taken. There's no one clear-cut answer to end gun violence, except put the guns down.
Got it. Okay. So your area is Ward 5?
Yeah.
Now, is that the same area you grew up in, or pretty close, right?
It's very close. We actually butt one another. I grew up in Ward 1 in the Sunset Park community, but I serve in Ward 5.
Okay. So what general area is Ward 5?
Ward 5 consists of the south side of Rock Hill.
Okay.
So anything from White Street in the city of Rock Hill, going back down to the Saluda Street area, going towards 901.
Okay. Now, I know you're in your first term, but before you got into your first term, what made you decide to run?
I don't know. A lot of days I keep asking myself that, Chris, like, how did I get to this point? But I will tell you, I took my son to my old community, Sunset Park. I had moved away and moved into an apartment, and the lady who was over the neighborhood association said, bring him back, to get him some school supplies. And I said, well, no, I'm okay. I don't need to come. She said, no, bring him back. And I brought him back to the community to that event. And so I filled out a card. There were some Winthrop students doing a survey, and I filled out a card. And from there, somebody called and asked me to come to a meeting. And I said, I wanted to go and see what this meeting was about. And from there, it sparked me having an interest in, hey, there's a lot of things going on in Rock Hill that I don't know about. And it's all because I didn't make myself available. And so I just wasn't in that inner circle. But I went to one meeting, and from then I was invited to several other meetings, and here I am. I ran for city council in 2013, and I won in the primaries and was not elected in the runoff. But I tell people that it was a win-win all across the board, because I didn't lose anything. I did not retain the seat or receive the seat, but I won so many other aspects of that experience that it wasn't a loss at all.
Okay. Yeah, you never lose if you don't give up.
That's right.
One of my mottos. So you decided to run again. Is there any new reasons why you decided to want to be reelected, or is it same thing, or?
Oh my gosh, I love serving. I've been enjoying. I didn't think I would. I didn't realize that I would enjoy being an elected official as much as I have been. It has brought me so much joy just to be able to help people who feel like they have no one to listen to them. And that's what I've heard since I've got elected to city council to serve Ward 5. They say you're willing to talk to any and everybody. And, in order to get things resolved, that's what it's going to take. We have to be able to come and sit at the table and air out our differences and hear one another's side to bring out a better community, and to bring out results. And so I just never thought I would get so much joy out of serving, and that's what it is, Chris. I'm ready to serve another term on city council for Ward 5.
Okay. And what would you say your biggest accomplishment's been since you've been elected?
My biggest accomplishment, there's so many. You just can't name one. There's so many accomplishments. Just hearing the seasoned senior say, ma'am, I've been going through this for 8 years and nobody has listened to me. But now you're here, you listen to me, and something was done, And so just hearing those conversations or having those conversations, it brings joy. Just imagine being boggled down with something and feeling like you have no one to turn to. So that's one of my accomplishments. That's the biggest accomplishment, I will say. Another accomplishment, when coronavirus first came out, there are a lot of people who were having a difficult time even getting access or appointments for the COVID vaccine. And so I brought it to the attention of some people, and I said, hey, I know people who are having a hard time. And so with that being said, I was able to help almost 1,500 people in the city of Rock Hill and in some York County areas to receive the COVID vaccine when they were having such a difficult time to do so in the very beginning. So that was another proud accomplishment. But the one thing I will say, Chris, everything that I have done since I've been on city council, I have not done this alone. It's with the help of people stepping up and saying, Nikita, how can I help out? What do you need help with? So all the accomplishments that has happened under my tenure was not done by Nikita Jackson. It was done with the help of people in the community that I serve.
Got it. Okay. You might have already touched on it, but what would you say your biggest challenge has been?
Biggest challenge is being patient and realizing government is slow.
Okay.
That's it. Just being patient and not being able to, have a lot of things happen right now. And just understanding that there's a process. And that's something that I tell people all the time. You got to understand the process and you got to trust the process. And so that's it.
Okay. Now I did notice that the election was supposed to be at the end of this year, but it kind of got pushed off till probably early next year. Do you know why that happened?
Well, with COVID, a lot of things got pushed back and a lot of things were delayed. and we did not receive the census information. Every 10 years, the census is taken. And that's where everyone in every household is counted. And so that information was supposed to have been, it's normally given back in March, is from what I understand. But because of COVID, it was delayed so long, and we really didn't get that information until mid-August. And so we wanted to make sure that the lines were redrawn correctly, so that we can ensure that we had the best results for an election. And so we as a council as a whole decided that it was in the best interest to wait until we got the data back before we redrew the lines, so that we could go forth with an election. And that process will take place on February the 8th of 2022.
Okay. Now, the pandemic, we briefly touched on that, and I know there's a lot of different opinions on how everybody feels about that. And obviously the two main things that I've noticed people ask about is how to be safe, yet how to keep the economy from going downhill. So what advice would you have for citizens, business owners, etc., to be safe but not be concerned about making money?
Well, everybody likes to make money, Chris. And the one thing that I tell people is you got to do what's best for you. And I can't tell you, Chris, what's best for you, but as an elected official, we do have an obligation to make sure that the community that we're serving is safe. And so with that being said, everybody has to answer to somebody. And so with that being said, I just tell people, do what is required to make you safe, but as an elected official, we will do what is required so that we can make our community safe as a whole.
Okay, thank you. And final thoughts. What do you want people to know about Nikita Jackson, whether it be on the council or just in general?
Oh my gosh, I love people. I never meet a stranger. I can talk to anybody. My son says, Mama, every time we go somewhere, you always talking to somebody. But that's just been me, who I am. I love people, and I just love talking with people. And when you start talking to people, you can find out you have more things in common than you do different. I tell people all the time, every day is a learning experience. Every day I learn something new to help better me along the way. And then at night when I'm laying down, I reflect on the day. I reflect on what I did to help move change along in a positive way. And then I also think about, did I ruffle anybody's feathers? And if I did, was it for a positive ruffle or a negative ruffle? That's just who I am. I try to think about what did I do today to make this world a better place, and what can I do moving forward as well.
Okay. Final question. We definitely talked about a lot from your early days to family life and your work. Is there anything you'd like to share that I didn't ask, or anything that comes to mind?
The one thing that I am proud of Ward 5, and again, I hold none of this on my own. Everything that has happened, all the accomplishments that have been made, is because of the people in Ward 5, the citizens of Ward 5 coming out. And the one thing that I am so proud of for us in Ward 5 is the fact that we received the most votes that any city council member has ever received in the city of Rock Hill. 1,738 people voted for me in 2017 to elect me to serve them. And I think I've done a great job in doing that. People say all the time, you're not going to make everybody happy. But I think I've done what the people have elected me to do, and that's to evoke change for Ward 5. And so that's something I'm proud that we have accomplished together. And again, I don't take anything that has occurred as my own accomplishment. It's the accomplishment of Ward 5, because people literally came out and did something that broke a record. And I want people to realize that we can continue to break records. We can continue to move mountains. It's just all going to require us working together collectively.
Got it. Okay. Well, Nikita, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
I thoroughly enjoyed this. I was a little nervous, but you made it so easy. You did. You really made it easy, Chris.
That's my biggest accomplishment today. Well, thank you very much for coming on. Now a word from our sponsors.